In today's video, we're going to go through the latest numbers in this Toronto and GTA real estate market update for December 2023. At the time I'm recording of this video, it is January 4th, 2024. The December numbers just came out. A lot of interesting figures with a lot of things that should not be surprising whatsoever. So we're going to go through all the major numbers and trends and break them down a little bit even in depth towards the end of the video. But before we get into that, hello everyone. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. Back with another video for you guys here today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a Toronto and GTA real estate agent who actively works with buyers and sellers across the GTA real estate market. On this channel, we like to discuss all things having to do with the Toronto and GTA real estate market stats, market reports such as this video, market updates, buyer advice, seller advice, building reviews, area analysis, property tours, and so much more. So if you enjoy any of this content, you find it informative, subscribe. Furthermore, you can find my contact information in the description box. Feel free to reach out with any inquiries having to do with the Toronto and GTA real estate market or any follow-up questions. And as always, you can find the link to my exclusive WhatsApp group chat, which is a newsletter, 100% anonymous, where I share across these market trends and other market reports that I find or I come across that I create myself. To that WhatsApp newsletter, you can get first access to the latest news and trends there as well. Anyways, enough of all that. Let's get to the point of today's video, which is the TREB resale market report for December of 2023. And in order to start, let's start with the headline figure, the headline number, the average sold price across all property types, across all areas in the GTA. Speaking of which, the average sold price came in at $1,084,000. Once again, this is the average price across all areas and all property types. This represented a 3.2% increase in this average sold price year over year, because in December of 2022, we saw an average sold price of $1,050,000. Now, a common theme during this video is going to be the fact that December is, for the most part, a write-off month. It's the holiday month. People barely work in December, and as a result, people really don't make big decisions in terms of buying and selling in December. Of course, that's not the case for everyone. I had a couple of deals in December. However, you can expect this to be a running theme and explanation. In this case, the price being up 3% does not surprise me. Although it's not a substantial increase by any means, I did notice December 2023 to be a more active month compared to previous Decembers in the last 3 to 4 years. And this activity will be represented further when we get to other figures, such as the sales figure. However, once again, let's not make too much of this 3.2% increase. In terms of the month over month figure, comparing December 2023 to November 2023, we see that it's pretty much status quo. If we have to put a percentage to it, which we should, it's a 0.24 increase. So not even 1/4% month over month in average sold price, where in November of 2023, we saw an average sold price of $1,082,000. So around $2,000 in pure dollar figure difference. And this is not surprising to me whatsoever, because really from October onwards, the market has been really sustaining its status quo. It has not been shifting either way dramatically. This is most pronounced from November to October. It was a little less pronounced from October to November. Things shifted a little bit more from October to November. But I fully expected numbers to be flush, and I believe I said it even earlier in my previous videos that December figures, you can expect it to be pretty flush with November, and here we see in terms of average sold price on a month over month basis, that came to fruition. Now, let's break it down by property type. And here you can see this chart where the sales and the average sold prices are broken down by property type and by area. If we focus on the average sold price portion of this chart, we see something quite interesting. But before we get into that, let's review the sold prices by property type for the totality of the GTA for a second. Detached came in at $1,418,000. Semi-detached came in at $1,027,000. Townhomes came in at $912,000, and condos came in at $668,000. So what is the interesting thing that is a point of emphasis for me? Well, here we see that all property types on a year-over-year basis are actually up according to those average prices I just gave you, with the sole exception of condos. Condos are the only property type that are actually down year-over-year. According to this chart, they're down 3.1%. According to my own numbers, condos are down 3.5%. Well, this is the first half of the interesting part. What is most interesting is when we take a look at the same exact chart. Of course, Trepp doesn't release this chart for the month-over-month figures. I do the month-over-month figures myself. We see month-over-month is kind of the converse of it. What do I mean by that? All property types are down month-over-month with the exception of detached and townhomes, freehold townhomes. Those are the only properties that are actually up month-over-month. So condos are once again down month-over-month compared to November, around 3.9%. Semi-detached are also down around 3%, but detached homes and townhomes, freehold townhomes, are up 1% for detached and 3% for townhomes on a month-over-month basis. And now let's get into sales. How many sales did we see across the Toronto and GTA real estate market? Well, in December, sales were up 11.5% year over year, because we saw a total of 3,444 real estate residential real estate transactions in December across the GTA. That represented, once again, an 11% increase year over year. And this is where we can start talking about what I discussed, which is the noticeable increase in activity. It's something I've talked about. You know, buyer showings were up in December of 2023. Offers were up in December of 2023. Of course, as we covered earlier in the beginning of the video, average sold price across all property types was up in December of 2023 year over year. And now we see that sales were also up year over year. And this all indicates to me, and this is what I was saying during December, and this is what I was seeing on the ground working with buyers and sellers in December. This all indicated to me that it is a more active December than previous Decembers. The reason for that, in my opinion, is fixed rates started to go down. And that really caused a lot of buyers who were considering purchasing or starting their purchasing plans in the new year to kind of move plans up. And also on top of that, on this channel, I've been talking about for a long time that I believe since October onwards, really, to be honest with you, since the summer months onwards, but more so September, October onwards, all conditions have been pointing towards the fact that it's a buyer's market that's very buyer friendly for those who can get approved, right? Because rates are high, but often when rates are actually high, the market shifts towards a very buyer friendly market. And you've heard me talk about it ad nauseum, but I'll repeat again, not just about price, but terms and conditions, protections, having the time to weigh all options and being aggressive on pricing. These were the conditions that were in place, very evidently so. And I think a lot of buyers saw that gap closing and jumped in December. And this explanation also applies to the selling side of things as well, as to why sales went up slightly comparing this December to previous December. Because what was actually on market, as we'll get to inventory figures, and I'll discuss more and when we discuss inventory figures, but what was actually on market were more desperate or motivated sellers. Once again, most people don't sell in December. There was a ton of active inventory that was coming through into December from November, and in cases October as well. And a lot of people just decided on the selling side to wrap it up and go for an offer that they received. However, I'll touch more on that as we get into the inventory side of things. But however, before we move on to the inventory side of things, I don't want to make too much of this uptick in sales, because although the sales amount increased year over year by 11%, it dropped month over month from November. How much did it drop? Well, according to my numbers, sales dropped 18% month over month. In November of 2023, there was about 4,400 plus sales that occurred across the GTA. That's a drop of 18% month over month, an increase, as we discussed, of 11% year over year. And all in all, as I discussed in my most recent videos, or one of my most recent videos, as December has ended, it turns out 2023 has become the lowest sales year within the GTA real estate market in 23 years. But I don't foresee that continuing into 2024. I think 2024 will see an increase in sales annually speaking, which is another thing I discussed in my most recent video. Go check that one out as well. But now let's get into inventory figures. How did listings look in December of 2023? Well, new listings, new homes coming onto the market for sale, not active inventory, new homes coming onto the market for sale represented a 6.6% decrease year over year. In total, there was about 3,800 listings that came onto the market. This represented, once again, a 6.6% decrease, wherein in December of 2022, we saw a total of 4,100 plus listings coming onto the market. So listings definitely dropped year over year. And this is the staggering number now, right? The 6% decrease is nothing compared to the 60+% decrease we saw in listings month over month. You heard that number right. New inventory dropped 63% from November to December. In November of 2023, there was 10,000 plus listings. To be exact, 10,545 according to my figures. Now we're looking at 3,800 in December. So once again, that's a 3% drop in new listings month over month. Now that is a bit typical, right? That is a bit typical because once again, the running thing throughout this video is December is a write-off. Like most people are not selling in December. However, although new inventory dropped month over month and year over year, active inventory sustained and actually increased year over year. We saw about 10,400 or so active listings. That was an increase because last year at the same time, we had around 8,000 active listings. So active listings actually kind of sustained the market a bit. And this is where I can expand on what I was saying earlier. With such a huge decrease month over month in new listings and such a drop year over year in new listings, those people who were actually on market were serious about selling. Add in combination the active inventory, once again, that came into December with a lot of freehold properties and some condos actually staying on market 45 plus days. You had a great recipe, once again, as buyers to take advantage of that, because what you were seeing were most likely, once again, serious sellers, motivated sellers, sellers who had probably adjusted prices in terms of price reductions several times or relisted several times. And when I keep harping on a buyer advantageous market, people just like to focus on price. No, these factors are also buyer advantageous when you're dealing with a flurry of sellers who have been adjusting price, who have been relisting, who have been on market for a long time. Coming up, my next video is going to be a Toronto condo market update. So we're gonna dig into the condo numbers a little bit more specifically in that video. But that is it for the time being for this video. If you enjoyed this video, found it informative, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Give it a like. You can find my contact information in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with me with any inquiries having to do with the Toronto and GTA real estate market, as many of you have, and join the newsletter for first access to all the market updates and such. By the way, one last point, I do have a new channel. I already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. I have a new pre-construction channel where I'll be doing all the pre-construction content on that channel. The link to that is also in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.